A man I once had a long conversation with said something I can't forget. Every one of my days starts with what I'm afraid of. I haven't done anything wrong yet. Nothing has happened yet, but I'm already tired, as if something already had. That was an honest line, very. And I think many of you listening right now will recognize something of yours in it. Because we rarely say this out loud, but almost everyone has this morning feeling. When nothing has started yet, but inside, everything is already like yesterday. Today, I want to look at why this happens, and, more importantly, what can be done about it. No esoterics, no promises to change your life in 21 days. Just, calmly, in plain terms, looking at the mechanism. Because, strange as it sounds, the first 10 minutes after waking often decide the quality of your whole day. And understanding those 10 minutes can change a great deal. Let's start with what happens in the brain in the morning. When we sleep, the brain moves through several phases: deep sleep, light sleep, dream phases. And when we wake up, the brain doesn't switch on instantly, like a light bulb. It passes through a transitional state. First, deep rest, then half sleep, then half clarity, and only then, full wakefulness. In those transitional minutes, while consciousness hasn't fully returned, the door between the conscious and the subconscious is slightly open. This isn't a metaphor. This is real neurobiology. The analytical mind, the one that usually filters, criticizes, judges, is muted in those minutes. And everything that enters your head slips below the usual layer of criticism. It records deeper. It sticks harder. Which means, what you fill those first minutes with shapes not just your mood, but the very tuning of your psyche for the day. And what do most people fill those minutes with? The phone. 86%. The first thing they do is open the screen. News, social media, other people's faces, other people's problems, other people's photos, headlines written specifically to trigger anxiety or irritation, ads that press on your weak spots, comparing yourself to other people's successes. And there it is. While the door to the subconscious is open, all of that walks right in. Someone else's anxiety becomes yours. Someone else's envy settles inside you. Other people's problems get drawn to yours. And all of it then quietly, invisibly runs your reactions for the rest of the day. You'll get irritated for no visible reason, and the reason is in that headline you read at 7 in the morning. Now add one more thing. What's happening from the inside? The brain that just woke up pulls familiar files out of habit. Unfinished worries, unresolved questions, yesterday's hurts. Not because they're important, because they're familiar. It's easier for the brain. It lives by the path of least resistance. And there you are. You haven't even gotten up. And emotionally, you're already in yesterday. With the same anxieties, the same tension. As if you didn't rest during the night, you just slept inside the old. Body here, mind there. And the whole day will be like that. If you're recognizing yourself right now, I want you to hear, this isn't your fault. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It's simply how our brain works by default. But by default doesn't mean doomed. You have the option to tune those first minutes differently. And the tuning is simple. I'll get to it in a minute. First, one critically important thing. So you don't think I'm offering the morning ritual of a successful Instagram person. It's not about drinking lemon water, doing 5 minutes of plank, and writing down 3 affirmations. All of that can be useful, but if the same background flow of anxieties is running inside you while you do it, there will be almost no effect. It's about a different quality of presence in those first minutes. About you actually being there, not as a body performing a protocol, as a person who met a new day and decided to begin it, as himself. Now, the actual algorithm. Not magical, not fast, but proven. Step 1. Don't pick up your phone for the first 10 minutes. This is the foundation. If you do only this and nothing else, your day will already change. Because you won't let someone else's content tune your psyche before you've tuned it yourself. 10 minutes, no more. You don't need 2 hours of meditation, just 10 minutes without a screen. What to do in those 10 minutes? You can sit with a glass of water by the window. You can lie in bed with your eyes closed. You can stand and watch the street wake up. You can sit and just breathe. This isn't meditation in any esoteric sense. It's simply presence with yourself before the world pours in. Step 2. Ask yourself 3 questions. I want you to hear these questions clearly. They seem simple, but asked regularly, they start changing the structure of your perception. First question. What am I carrying into today from yesterday? Not to analyze, not to scold yourself, just to notice. What hurt is still alive inside? What anxiety is still hanging there? What decision hasn't been made? What conversation isn't finished? Just see it. Don't try to solve it. Don't try to wave it off. Just notice. A surprising thing happens when you notice. Much of it loses weight, because an unnamed anxiety is stronger than a named one. Named, it becomes one of the things inside you, not all of you. Second question. What am I grateful for? Not in general terms, not thank God for everything. Specifically, for the water in the tap that's just there, for waking up, for the person sleeping next to me, for the bed that's warm, for eyesight so I can see the morning light, for breathing that's happening in me on its own right now. It seems trivial, but it's the most radical practice I know, because gratitude isn't an emotion, it's a position. And when you take that position every morning, your perception changes. You start seeing what you didn't see before, not because something new appeared, because you're finally looking. Third question, the most important. Who do I want to be today? Not what do I want to achieve? Not what tasks will I close? But who to be? Attentive, patient, honest, someone who listens, someone who doesn't snap over little things, someone who notices other people, someone able to say I'm sorry when he's wrong, someone able to say thank you when he doesn't have to. This question changes the day, because usually we ask ourselves, what should I do today? But the real question is different. Who should I be today so that what I do is right? This question doesn't set a direction for the day, it sets a direction for a life. 3 questions, 10 minutes, every morning. I know, this sounds almost too simple, but deep things work exactly like that. They look too simple, so people pass them by. And those who don't pass them by discover that the simplicity was deceiving. Behind it, serious depth. Friends, a short pause. I know, these little requests are a bit awkward to make, but they matter. If this conversation is finding something in you, please give the video a like. It genuinely helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, about the other side of the day, about what works the same way in the evening. Because the open door to the subconscious effect doesn't only work when you wake up. It works when you fall asleep too, just in the opposite direction. When you fall asleep, the brain again passes through a transitional state. The analytical mind is muted again, and whatever you fall asleep with gets recorded deeper. If you fall asleep in resentment, the resentment takes root. If you fall asleep in anxiety, the anxiety takes root. If you fall asleep staring at your phone, scrolling a news feed and other people's arguments in the comments, that takes root too, whether you want it to or not. And if you fall asleep with a conscious review of the day, that takes root as well. The choice is yours. So I want to add an evening step to the morning algorithm, also not magical. 5 minutes before sleep. Not social media, not TV, not the phone. Just a short review of the day. Where was I on autopilot? In which conversation? In which reaction? What would I do differently if I could live these 24 hours over again? Not to scold yourself. And this is very important, not to scold yourself, but to fall asleep with awareness. Falling asleep with this, you root not resentment and not anxiety in your subconscious, but attentiveness to yourself, the resolve to try differently, the desire to grow. And, what's surprising, that will be what you wake up with the next morning, with the same feeling inside, the same depth. That's how morning and evening are linked. That's how an inner climate is formed. And now, the main takeaway this whole conversation is probably for. Inner freedom doesn't come as a flash of insight. It's built from small practices that aren't visible from the outside. 10 minutes in the morning, 5 in the evening, and the ability to notice yourself sometimes during the day. That's all. But this is what builds up into what looks, from the outside, like transformation. People usually wait for the big moment, a crisis, an insight, a turning point. But real change almost never comes that way. It comes as 10 minutes in the morning, every day, for months. And at some point, the people around you say, "You've changed somehow. What happened?" And you know what? Just 15 minutes a day, minutes that others don't even take seriously, and in which, in fact, all the work is happening. Short summary. The first 10 minutes in the morning set the tone for the whole day. Don't give them to the phone. Ask 3 questions. What am I carrying from yesterday? What am I grateful for? Who do I want to be today? Don't fall asleep with resentment, and not with a feed. With a short, calm review of the day. Small practices done regularly do what big one-time decisions don't. And one last thing. I know how this sounds from the outside. 10 minutes in the morning, 3 questions, and my life will change? It sounds naive, too simple. But I'm asking you one thing. Don't take my word for it. Just try it. 30 days, no more. After 30 days, you'll have your own data, not mine, yours. And then you'll decide for yourself whether it was worth it. If this video was helpful for you, I'd be grateful for a like. And for any comment, even a single word, it genuinely helps the algorithm. And if right now you're thinking of someone you feel these words might help, send it to them. No pressure, just as a thought. It will help him. And me, too. Thank you for being here. Until next time.